And this return on investment is significantly higher compared to, let's say, real estate or other asset classes such as stocks or ETFs. But overall, I would say I spend around 1 hour per month to run this business. And that's it. Hey, what's up guys? Hans here. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to share the story of how I built my own self-storage business, which now brings in roughly 20,000 euros in profit on an annual basis, while requiring minimal effort on my part. This is one of the most passive income streams I've ever built, and in this video I'll explain exactly how it works, what you need to get started, and how to scale it. Right now I own about 40 containers which are spread around 3 different properties. 2 of these properties I currently rent, and the other property I actually bought just recently. In this video I break down every step of the process so you can start your own self-storage business with minimal effort and investment. Now, you of course want to know how it all works, right? So the basic concept is really simple. You rent a piece of land, you put containers on it, and then rent out these containers to customers in the area who need extra storage space. And the demand for storage is actually huge, whether it's families who are just moving, businesses needing extra space, or people just looking for a place to store their belongings. To attract customers, I started posting ads on eBay Kleinanzeigen, which is like the equivalent to Craigslist in the US. And my key selling points are flexibility, 24/7 access, security with surveillance cameras, and affordability. In terms of pricing, I charge between 100 and 130 euros per month for a standard 20-foot size container. I also have smaller containers, and these go for about 70 euros a month. And in addition, I have one 40-foot container for which I charge 150 euros a month. And this pricing is really competitive compared to traditional self-storage businesses, which ensures that my units are always occupied. Now, what do you actually need to make this work? So there are 3 main things you need to start this business, right? You need the land, you need the containers, and then you need some other things to keep the operation smoothly. First, let's talk about the land. You obviously need a property to place your containers. I always recommend renting land first before actually buying a property. This keeps your upfront investment low and allows you to test the demand in a given area. And once the business is running successfully, you can consider buying a property yourself, like I did recently. If you want to check out what my property looks like, the one I just recently bought, check out this video here. Second, you need shipping containers, right? If you're just starting out, buy them used, for example, on a platform like eBay Kleinanzeigen here in Germany or like Craigslist in the US, just to keep your initial investment low. Now, there are several types of containers which you can get, but the most common ones are the standard size 20 or 40-foot long containers. And me personally, I prefer the 20-foot long containers because they're easier to transport and rent out. You can buy them from shipping container dealers, construction companies, or private sellers, but I usually get them, if I buy them used, from eBay Kleinanzeigen, from private individuals selling their containers. Prices range from 1,000 euros all the way up to 3,000 euros, 1,000 euros if you buy them used, and roughly 3,500 euros, I'd say, if you buy them from a dealer, if they're brand new, including VAT. The 40-foot long containers are obviously larger, which means they also cost more. If you buy them used, I'd say you can get them for around 2,000 euros up to 3,000 euros. If you want to buy a new one, they cost at least 4,000 euros is what I would say. And then lastly, there are a few miscellaneous things you need in order to get this operation running smoothly. For example, you can get locks for the storage containers, surveillance cameras for security, and other stuff such as basic lighting or fences around your property in case you want to get that. To be honest, you don't even have to get that. The most important equipment really is surveillance cameras. In addition, I also use these lock boxes here, which you can buy off of Amazon for like 20 euros in case you provided the locks for the renters. And in case they're moving out, they can just put the key into this lockbox, so you don't have to physically be there whenever they move out or a new person comes in and moves in. And these small details make the business even more passive, right? There's really not much work you have to do, and we'll get to this part here in a second as well. Now, let's quickly talk about how you can actually scale this business. And that's fairly easy. You either buy more containers or you rent out more land. The more containers you have, the more revenue you obviously generate, right? Me personally, I started out with only 2 containers and gradually expanded by reinvesting my returns. However, the key challenge of scaling and building this business overall is finding the right land at reasonable cost. Some landowners want to lease huge plots that are too big for this business model, especially if you're just starting out. So I always look for properties between 500 and 1,000 square meters. Word of mouth also plays a key role once you grow. Once you have a few satisfied customers, they start recommending your service to others. so that you don't even have to put up ads on eBay Kleinanzeigen or any other platform anymore. And obviously it also keeps your occupancy rate high. Now, how much work do I actually have to put in? Most of my time spent for this business is handling rental agreements and checking if payments have been received. Once the containers are actually on the property and once you have everything fully set up, there's really not much work you have to do. For example, once a month I review my bank statements to ensure that all rent payments have gone through. Occasionally, and I would say every, I don't know, as I said, I have like 40 containers now, so every 2 to 3 months a renter moves out, in which case I'll update my listings and find a new renter. But overall, I would say I spend around 1 hour per month to run this business, and that's it. And the automation tools I've set up make it even easier, right? Rental agreements are fully digital. I don't have to go anywhere to sign it. The renters don't have to bring it to me physically. They just send it over per email or WhatsApp. Payments are mostly automatic, so I don't receive any cash either. And other equipment, such as the mentioned lock boxes, allow customers to pick up and drop off keys without my involvement. And nowadays, to be honest, I don't even use locks anymore. I just tell my renters to get the locks and lock their containers accordingly, which means that I don't even have to take care of the keys anymore. And compared to other side hustles, this is as passive as it gets. Now, let's look into the financials. Let's break down the numbers here. My initial investment included purchasing containers, locks, surveillance cameras, and other minor setup costs, totaling about 35,000 euros over time, right? And this includes many containers. If you just want to start out, investing can really start with like 2 containers, and that would cost you, I don't know, 2,000 to 4,000 euros, and that's it. My ongoing costs mainly include property leases. For my 2 rented properties, I pay a total of 5,500 euros in rent per year. Since I recently bought my 3rd property, I no longer have to pay rent on that land, right? I just pay back the loan to my bank, which increases my profits even further. On the revenue side, I generate roughly 2,000 euros a month, or roughly 25,000 euros per year. And this accounts only for like 15 to 20 containers for now. In this one business I own several businesses, of course. And after deducting my expenses, I make around 20,000 euros in profit annually with minimal time commitment. And this return on investment is significantly higher compared to, let's say, real estate or other asset classes such as stocks or ETFs, especially if you buy used containers, which are really cheap. Just to give you another example, I have in the past also bought used containers for like 800 euros max, which I then rent out for 110 euros, which means that that container would be amortized within less than a year, right? And it's really difficult to achieve return on investments like this in, let's say, real estate. The operating costs are lower, there's almost no maintenance you have to take care of, and customer turnover is really low, meaning consistent income. Now, if I were to start over again, the main thing I would avoid is choosing 40-foot long containers. They are way more difficult to transport and require larger equipment to move, such as a crane like this, which adds unnecessary costs. Also, customers tend to prefer smaller storage units, and with that, these 20-foot containers are the best choice. Also, if you then want to sell the container again in a couple of years, it's again easier to just sell this 20-foot container because it's easier to handle compared to the 40-foot container. Now, what I would have liked to do differently, I tried to do this, but I really wasn't able to, is to find land which I could purchase to increase my profits even further. It's very difficult to find land, especially if you just look for these smaller size properties with, like, as I said, 500 to 1,000 square meters. To purchase. It's really difficult to find commercial land in the area in which I am looking for properties, meaning around Freiburg in the south of Germany. But I always knew that if I would buy my own property, I would obviously save on that rent, which means that I would generate more profit for my business. All right, guys, and that's it for this week's video. Hopefully you now understand why I think this is the best side hustle you can set up for yourself, and why I think this is one of the best passive income businesses out there. It's simple, scalable, and requires almost no work once it's set up. If you're interested in starting your own self-storage business, let me know in the comments below. I also offer consultation, so if you're interested in that, hit me up via email, which is also linked down below in the video description. Also, if you found this video helpful, hit the like button and subscribe for more content on passive income and smart investing. I post videos roughly every weekend, so make sure you don't miss out. I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.